Hey, so welcome. This is Will with SRT Amplification, and I know it's been a while since I did a video, but I just wanted to let you guys see some of the things that I've been doing with my new workshop area here in the garage. And you know, we had a heat wave last week and the week before, and then this week it kind of cooled off and it's gotten kind of chilly out here actually. But beginning of the week we got out here in the garage and started unpacking a bunch of stuff that we had, and we really needed to move some things around and everything to make some room. I'm just going to kind of show you what I did, and then show you a little bit of how I've got my workbench set up. And then I've got some footage from some stuff I've been working on in my old cramped up area, but I'm going to go ahead and finish that stuff up and get those videos out. But let me just take you a little tour. Okay, so I got one of the cars pulled out here, and you can see I've got a lot of room right here for the car to pull in. Before, my work area was right over here in along this wall, and it was kind of getting a little bit cramped. And what we did, because we had so many storage boxes and Rubbermaid containers and stuff, I basically built a platform, and I stuck all those Rubbermaid containers and stuff underneath there. There's probably 20 of them underneath there, and I've got a few more that I gotta do. I'm probably gonna make this come out a little bit, maybe 2 or 3 feet right here by the toolbox here, but I gotta have enough room to open up this hot water heater closet. So but anyway, getting things kind of squared away here. But I've got a really nice work area now. It's 2 sheets of plywood as it stands right now, so that's about an 8 by 8 area there, so about, I guess, 64 square feet. And then got the shelving stuff right here for kind of the large items. Got these little nice, slide out Rubbermaid things, whatever they are, don't know what they're called. But and then just some of the things that I use most often. I've got a lot of equipment and stuff in these drawers here, but soldering stuff and leads and all kinds of stuff. But really the stuff that I use on a day-to-day basis is up here. Couple of multimeters. This is kind of interesting. I don't know if very few of you guys may have seen one of these, but back in the early 90s when I started working with electrical stuff and electronics, this was the meter that I had. It's pretty old. It's one of the first digital multimeters, and you had to actually press these in, combinations of these. So like if you wanted DC volts, you'd have to press this one in or press this one out, and then you'd have to have the combination of this one in and this one out like that, and that would be DC volts. And then if you wanted amps, both of these would have to be pressed in at the same time. So yeah, these new multimeters here with the dials are kind of easier, but this is what I kind of grew up with, so I knew how to operate it. But it's a really good meter. It still works to this day. It's a Fluke 860 Alpha true RMS multimeter. So I thought some of you guys may find that interesting. It also works on a 9-volt battery. I got several soldering irons. There's a 30 watt, 60 watt. I use this one mainly for chassis soldering and stuff like that. A bunch of transistors, capacitors, electrolytic capacitors and such, resistors. There's bridge rectifiers, all kinds of stuff in there. And then I got this model TW11 tube tester made by Superior Instruments Company. And it's just basically the quality of the tube tester, and it also tests for shorts, and you can also test for microphonics too by put it in your headphones right here, and it works really well for that microphonics. I've had several variable transformers, or what most people call variacs, but this is an actual variac made by General Radio USA, who actually had the registered trademark for the word variac. And it is it's built like a tank. I had several of the Chinese ones that you can buy online, and they all broke on me. They just don't hold up. This one's got a handle. It's rated for 10 amps, so it's got this reset button here. Now the drawback to it is it doesn't give you a readout of the voltage, but I always stick my meter on it anyway, and so I can get a readout of the voltage, and then I'll put another meter in line with it so I can get a current draw. So I don't need anything fancy like that, but this thing lasts forever. And then for my O-scope, which I really love, use this thing a lot. I got a 465, and this is actually a military version of this. They made inside of it, you would see that it's got some vibration dampening, and it's also got a fan on it that the non-military version didn't have. So I found that out looking at the literature, so it's pretty swanky. And then up here's one of my signal generators. I've got a couple of them. I use this one mostly. I don't know that it's the best as far as durability, but it's the best as far as ease of navigating through the menus and stuff like that. And as long as you're just using it for basic, signal, certain frequency or whatever, this one's just really easy. If you want to get into more complicated things, this one's probably not the one to use. But yeah, so this is pretty much what I got here. And of course, got some license plates of different places that we've lived throughout the years. I also have this tube tester up here that it's kind of special to me because back in the 90s I took an electronics course, and the course that I took it through was through a corporation that's no longer in business anymore. But I don't know if you guys can see that or not. But it was a corporation called the National Radio Institute, or NRI. And as you can see on this, right down here, this thing's made by NRI Professional. So this is one of the kits they would send out with the courses that they had. I picked this up a few months ago actually, and it works really well. It doesn't have the microphonics checker on it, but basically it's about the same. It's got the scroll there that you scroll through and find the type of tube, put it in the proper socket, flip the levers and turn the knobs, and it tests just about like the other one. But I kind of like this thing because it reminds me of that course I took from NRI. That course is defunct now. It was headquartered in DC, and basically how it got its start is, back in the early 1900s and in the 20s and 30s, especially when people were getting radios more and more in their house. They would they needed somebody to repair these things, and there wasn't anybody out there that knew anything about radios. So NRI kind of filled that education role of training the early radio repairmen, and then later they got into TV repair, and then of course in the late 60s and 70s, computers and stuff like that they started adding to their curriculum. And as a matter of fact, the course I took was in computers is what it was in, but they, you know, the whole course, it went all through electronics, telephony, internet, and of course back in the 90s the internet was crap. You know, it was all pretty much all dial-up stuff. So the curriculum was even behind that. So it was a really good course though. It taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about solid state circuits and stuff like that. So that's just another tool that I have. I don't really want to pull everything I got out right now, but because I'm still kind of, you know, finding where things go, and I've got stuff stacked up in tubs and stuff. But eventually I'll have everything out here, and we'll do a little more thorough investigation of everything. But that's that. But anyway, I've got a let me get this sit down. I've got a speaking of soldering irons, like we were talking about earlier, I've got a soldering iron coming from some outlet. I saw this on a Facebook ad, and it kind of spiked my curiosity. And I think if you've never seen one of these before, never heard of one, you might be pleasantly surprised that there is such a thing out there. But when I get it in the mail, we're going to do a unboxing, and we're going to do a review of it and do a demonstration of it, and we'll see if it actually lives up to all the hype. But if it does, I'm really anxious to get my hands on this thing, and I'm just going to leave you in suspense for now exactly what it is. But I will say this: it does soldering. So yeah, I'll just leave it with that. But if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead and subscribe. I'd appreciate it, and like this video. And hopefully I'll turn out some more soon, and we'll get some more up on YouTube for you guys to watch. As always, thank you.